The 2020 NASCAR season has only just started, but it already feels like we're looking towards the next season in 2021. That can also bring some new changes in the Cup Series in terms of silly season. There are some big name drivers whose contracts end after 2020, and in this video I will go over and talk about where I think they could potentially end up next season. This is all hypothetical, and to make sure I don't overhype a potential crazy silly season, I'm going to try and be down to earth and honest as possible. Alright, let's get started with Brad Keselowski in the Team Penske camp. The 2012 champion as of right now is due to be a free agent at the end of this season. It does feel like anything could happen, especially with the recent crew chief swap that they did. While his crew chief Paul Wolfe went over to crew chief for Joey Logano, and Todd Gordon went over for Ryan Blaney, Jeremy Bolins went over from Blaney's team to Keselowski's team. Bolins hasn't had the kind of success that the other crew chiefs have had. Not to mention, things were already off to a bad start with Keselowski and Logano during the clash. Keselowski was very displeased with Logano's racing actions. And guess what? It kind of even happened again during the Daytona 500. Some people are now suggesting that Brad Keselowski could go back to the team that he came up with, Hendrick Motorsports. I felt like there might have been some bad blood, and I originally, when I recorded this, believed that Keselowski wouldn't really go back to Hendrick Motorsports. Would he? While he was driving part-time Cup races in 2009, Hendrick Motorsports hired on an older veteran in Mark Martin. And with that 2009 Cup win at Talladega where he won this race, this eventually ended up where he is now. I'm not saying 100% for sure this is going to happen, but I think this is a possibility. If Brad Keselowski leaves the team that he won the 2012 championship with, I think he's going to go back to Hendrick. Besides that, I don't know where else Keselowski could go. Not to mention that Austin Cindric also plays a factor into this as well. He's going to be ready for Cup here very soon. Next is Ryan Blaney. Blaney has done well, he's made the playoffs, and he's won a few races already into his Cup career. And personally, I think with Todd Gordon now as his crew chief, I could definitely see Ryan Blaney winning more races this season. I don't see him leaving Team Penske. He is a young driver, and personally, I think he's part of the future at Team Penske. With that being said, Austin Cindric may need a ride in Cup next season if he's ready. So the question is, where does Cindric go? There could be the possibility that Cindric could go to the 2 replacing Keselowski. I want to give a heads up. I did say something different in this recording earlier, but I went back and edited it because I thought more about it since I recorded it. I think Blaney's going to have a good season. I think he's going to get perhaps a win, maybe 2 or 3, and I think his future is in that number 12 car at Team Penske. We move on next to Clint Bowyer. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just don't see Bowyer back in the 14 after this season. I think Chase Briscoe will replace him, as I've said in previous videos. But I will add this. After watching Daytona 500 qualifying with Clint Bowyer messing with Jeff Gordon about the Super Bowl bet, and listening to Clint Bowyer at NASCAR Media Day, I think Clint Bowyer will join Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon in the Fox booth next season. I think Bowyer is the closest thing you could put to replace Darrell Waltrip. I think he'd be a great fit in the Fox Sports booth. Next, we have a big one. Erik Jones. And I've also already said this, as Erik Jones Terry Labonte 1995'd himself to win the Busch Clash. Jones is a good driver and he can win in the Cup Series, and has even stated that he does not plan on leaving JGR, and he's pretty content there. But there's a problem. Christopher Bell. Who does Joe Gibbs want to keep? Erik Jones? Or do you want a very promising prospect that could potentially win Cup championships in the long haul in Christopher Bell? It sucks for Erik Jones, especially when your other 3 teammates won several races last season. Not only that, all 3 of his teammates made the championship 4 as well. I just think Christopher Bell's going to replace Erik Jones. Jones got a win last season and he was pretty consistent, made the playoffs, and he ran pretty well. However, he only got a 1-year extension, and looking at that, that just shows that Christopher Bell is probably being prepped to take the 20 next season. But Erik Jones will find another ride. I could see him actually going to Hendrick Motorsports. I think he's a top candidate to take the 48. Let's move on to Matt DiBenedetto. Although he has just moved into this new ride in the 21, replacing Paul Menard, this really depends on how he does. I do think he will drive the wheels off of the 21. I think he can win in the 21 and get the Wood brothers that big 100th win. But, I mentioned earlier, Austin Cindric, who is the son of the president of operations for Team Penske, Tim Cindric. He will be due to move up to the Cup Series very soon. Then again, Cindric is tied to Penske, and they may want to have him in a Penske car. For right now, though, I think DiBenedetto will stay in the 21 for 2021. The next driver is Corey LaJoie. Apparently, it has been said that Corey LaJoie actually sent a letter off to Rick Hendrick and explaining himself why he should replace Jimmy Johnson next season. But I can say for certain he will stay for the most part. Go Fast Racing just entered a small alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing, and I think LaJoie will continue to improve in 2020 with the team and will continue into 2021. Short, sweet, to the point, LaJoie stays. This one is a big one for sure. Kyle Larson. This one's interesting. While I do think Larson will break out this season and have a season like he did in 2017, with the momentum swinging his way, but there are a few questions involving Larson's future in NASCAR. A lot of it comes down to being able to run dirt races that he wants to run. Of course, recently he just won the Chili Bowl. Chip Ganassi currently allows him to do that, but will Hendrick Motorsports allow that? A lot of people point to Larson replacing Jimmy Johnson next season in the 48. As of right now, I don't see that happening unless Rick Hendrick allows him to continue to run dirt races like he has. Some even believe that he could move to Stewart-Haas Racing, which in theory would be a complete perfect fit for Kyle Larson with Tony Stewart's dirt racing background. But here's the issue. Kevin Harvick just signed an extension through 2023. Cole Custer just joined and he's not going anywhere. And do you honestly think they're going to get rid of Eric Amarola, who's bringing in funding from Smithfield? Right now, I could see Larson back at Ganassi. I don't know where else he could possibly go. Couple drivers to go here. Next, we got Bubba Wallace. It feels like Bubba is loyal to the king right now. A year ago, we thought RPM was done for, but they have got sponsorship under control for now, especially with a sponsor like Worldwide Technology, who stepped up and was able to secure sponsorship through the Victory Junction gang for the rest of the season. I'm unsure where Bubba could go, and being brutally honest, and while he has pushed that car to its limits, especially in the All-Star race last year, it's not a car Bubba can win in. But for now, I think he's going to stay put for at least another year in the 43. In terms of RPM's future, I'm going to discuss that in a future video. Last but not least, Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman had a good season last year and finally got his first career win at Chicagoland. Most likely, I can see him returning to Hendrick Motorsports for the future unless a driver comes along with more funding and sponsorship. Bowman lost Nationwide as a sponsor, and he had to get his races filled up by Chevrolet Associate sponsors. Bowman is a good driver, yes, he's definitely proved himself. He definitely proved himself while he subbed in for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2016. But I am concerned that there's a possibility he could get replaced by a driver that just simply has more sponsorship. But I'm not sure if Rick Hendrick wants to make two different moves for next season. You already have the 48 to worry about. They need to do something, though, to get this team back to their winning ways, as Hendrick has not been winning like they used to. Chase Elliott's been their top guy, but now we need Alex Bowman, William Byron, and whoever takes over the 48 to step up here for the future. So, that'll do it for this video. That's a quick wrap-up of what I think will happen to these drivers for 2021 and beyond. I'd like to hear what you guys think down below in the comments below. Let's start a discussion, because I think there is a lot of talk and discussion and a lot of possibilities that could potentially happen. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.